right. Thank you, everyone, for joining me today. This is LuxurTravel, and today we will be looking at Lufthansa, another airline that I wanted to just focus on how to book your flights on a particular airline. This one I'm focusing on Lufthansa, and not too long ago I focused on Delta. Lufthansa do travel around the world, some flights within the United States and definitely overseas internationally. And they have a very good website as well, outlined to what you need to do. It's quite different than what I presented on Delta. But if you're interested in Lufthansa, stay tuned. Before I get into this, just want to say if you end up liking this video, you get something from it, please share it. Please definitely, as they say, smash that like button and subscribe and hit that notification bell when we get new videos when we drop. So thank you so much for joining me today. And we're going to go ahead and look at Lufthansa and take a look of how their website is set up if you're interested in actually booking your flights directly with the airline. They do have other, of course, third party sites that you can book as well. We can help you if you're interested in booking. But if you just want to go directly to the website, here it is. So we're at the home page. It's definitely different than what I presented um, with Delta, but it gets the job done. So let's go ahead and get started. So at the top here, I like to start from the top and go down, and we have the current travel information. So that's going to take you into different regulations that are required due to COVID. So I would definitely highlight to take the time when you have some time to read through and what have you, and click that and then read that really before your departure date. I would say at least a month or 3 weeks before. All right. And if you already have by chance a Lufthansa type of account, you can go ahead and log in. The setup might be a little bit different, but you definitely should see your search at the top. The menu here, I just want to kind of go over that. It gives you more options if you just want to get to a certain place regarding what you're looking for. Maybe you are looking for to travel international and you want to see what type of airports that it flies into, Lufthansa. You have your group travel, which I mentioned in the Delta uh, breakdown how to book flights on delta.com. And this is where, of course, that you're traveling with 10 people. Anything more than nine, they consider that group. Okay. Additional services, we're going to touch on that a little bit when we go through. And then, of course, preparing your trip. This kind of gives you all the highlights. So definitely go to the menu at the top here and take a look. Doing your travel, definitely highlight that. If there's any delays, you'll have your options of what you need to do. And then, of course, traveling and dealing with Corona, you want to plan for that. And they have that right there. Okay. So we're going to go ahead and get out of this and we're going to get started. So, this here on their website, they do give you an option if you want after you book or what have you, and you just want to check in, it's right there. You just kind of click that. All right. And so you'll just put your name in and then the booking number you'll get once we finish booking today. And then we have the flight status. After the fact, you can go ahead and LH is the code for the airline, and then you'll put your flight number. All right. And then the date there. And then here is if you already create an account. I would encourage you to, if you're going to choose a particular airline, go ahead and create the free account. It really helps. And then, of course, if any mileage. So I do like to go through the website this a bit to kind of get a better idea of what they're offering and what they're providing, right? So here is kind of touch on different things that you can kind of get more into. And in an overview, one thing about Lufthansa, they do give you a lot of options to compare. And a lot of people, even though they like, the luxury lifestyle and to be able to have that experience, they do want to, get a bargain if they can, right? If it's really good for them. So they'll definitely be interested in that. And Lufthansa on their website, they do give you a lot of options, a lot of sections through their website where they're constantly showing you the value if you do this or that, if you book from here, right? Or if you add a particular other item. All right. So on Lufthansa, it does give you an option to add the hotel. They do network with booking.com, or if it's a rental car, they do um, connect with, Hertz and the other big players. If it's international, they do work with Europol. So that's good as well. All right. So let's go ahead and decide. I actually want to go ahead and decide we're going to go to Rome, but we're going to be flying from the United States. I'm just going to do Chicago. We're flying from Chicago. And again, that's the rental car and then the hotel. The rental car, if you click that, it opens up to a new page. And the hotel, it goes directly to booking.com. Okay. So we're going to do that and we're going to go to Rome. Now, of course, you will probably type in the particular location. It should pop up. I'm just using the airport codes because it's faster and I'm used to doing that as a yeah, so booking travel. So this right here, let's say that you wanted to this way automatically do as a return, but let's say you want to do a one way. Now, of course, this is actually looking as if it's going to be a return on Lufthansa. When you click a one way, that's going to still stay there. So you're really looking underneath to make sure that your departure is in this case is basically your outbound, where you're leaving from and where you're heading to, that you're not returning back. Of course, this is not the right date here. So let's see if I click that. It'll open up a calendar for me. And I'm going to scroll down and see that it does. You want me to reset? So I'm going to scroll down here. And we're going to see if it's going to actually open for me. Let me do reset. Now that helps. Okay. All right. I want to do different things today. So let's say if I do 07. Let's see. All right. We're going to do 07. There you go. Where you been? All right. So, just mind. We'll do. No, we'll do. Oh, 05. All right. So I think they want to do it differently. So we're going to do July the 5th, 2021. All right. So we're going to close out of that. Even though it looks like that, we're just going to keep moving because that's what the calendar says. And then we're going to move to where you says pick, how many people is traveling with you. So this is very different with Delta. I want to point this out. So we have the economy, then we have the premium economy, then business. We're going to go, let's go first on the wrong. And on Lufthansa, it's only going to allow you to be able to 6 people, right? Even if you have children or infants, it can't be more than 6. To them, like that's rounding off that you must be needing, you must be needing a group. So 6 would be that particular uh, uh, the most that you can possibly book, and you have to like call in if you've got more than 6 people. So you're going to select that. I have an access code. That basically means that you have any type of code that you can apply towards the flight that helps you to move forward. And then where we fly, that's going to open up to another page. And it just gives the whole world a where Lufthansa flies. So I think that's great. Multi-city flights, that's going to definitely open up if you're Like saying you're flying from Chicago, you go on to Rome, and then it opens up, and if you want to leave out a different port, then that does that as well. So let me see if I have that open. I do. So I click multi-city flights from the home page here. It opens up to this, and this is where you will key in if you're flying from, multiple airports. So let's say if I take that out and all right, let me go up here and change it to match before. Going to Chicago. And we chose July the 5th. And also here, you would go ahead and choose the time that you prefer. Okay, you'll put that in there. Then here you have what airport you're flying from. So let's say that, we went to Rome, but we want to be able to um, fly out from another location. Let's say we were flying out from Milan. And then we're going to return back to Chicago. And then you'll pick your date. You will pick July the 30th, and then you'll pick your time. Now, sometimes people might actually still, traveling. And so you actually need another point where you're flying from. You'll add that there, and you'll continue on if that's the case. And then you'll come down here, and then you'll select how many people, and then you'll just, fill this out. Access code again, so you have any type of code that you need to apply for your flight, for it to be able to calculate that. And that'll be on like an e-voucher or an e-statement. So let's go back as if you're not having like a multi-flight. You just, going to from one place location, and you're flying to the next and you're staying there, right? You're not returning back. So you're doing a one way. And with Lufthansa, it keeps that there. You're identifying that how many people will be flying. I'm just going to say two. You continue. This right here, it opens up as if it's going to give you available rates. If you don't see anything, you see how it kind of crosses out. There's nothing there at this moment of time. So you'll click, you want to search flights. So once you click that, that will process in a sense on the back end. The engine is processing that to find the best flights for you. I did notice with Lufthansa, like I said, the websites of the airlines, they do change periodically, especially after COVID is on the scene. But for the most part, the ones that I'm focusing on is really straightforward. Just gotta kind of get used to the layout, right? But nonetheless, with Lufthansa, you have where you're flying from, which is Chicago. You see that airport code. I do mention that quite a bit because I think it's important. It's like a follow up to make sure, because some locations can have more than one airport code. And if you're a very conscious type traveler and you want to get the best deal, no matter if it's luxury or if it's not a luxury trip, it's just you just got to get your business done and fly here and there, but you're just not in the mood of spending that much money. It's good to know the different airport codes. So if you're booking it or you're talking to an travel agent, you can go ahead and emphasize that. Can you check ORD or another nearby airport? And you can give them the airport code and they can plug it in and move forward. It's just faster. But nonetheless, it's be able for you to be able to be more in aware of what the price point that you can get it at. And sometimes different airport codes, different airports, the price would be lower because not so many airplanes are going through there or whatever reason that the airline makes to get you a discounted rate. So then at the next one, you have the date, July the 5th. And then, of course, how many people. If you make a mistake on Lufthansa, right there, it gives you that option to start a new search, right? Change your details or what have you. And then you're going to come to the main part of the different itineraries that you can select. Right off the back, again, Lufthansa is giving you the option. So let's say Some people are very, they like to shop around and really compare. And instead of you changing the dates and coming back, da da da, it really gives you an option for you to consider, right? And so here we have May the 7th, or maybe you want to check out maybe, sorry, May the 7th, July the 5th, and July the 4th, and then July the 3rd. And it kind of goes that doing that way that you can kind of see at a glance, does it change? Sometimes the day before or the day after might change, but not all the time. Not all the time. The price will change that much. But nonetheless, it's just giving you that option. So, and in this case, it's basically the same. July is the heart of summer, so it's going to be that expensive. So here we are with the number of stops. If you want to change that, you can, of how you want to sort it. So we're just going to leave that alone from now. And then here you have your breakdown. Again, you see these airport codes. If you go to a certain place all the time, it doesn't hurt to just know it and know the other airport codes in the area. But you have about, this is 4 o'clock, and then arriving about 1:05, okay, in a day. You're going to have one stop. That's the total amount of hours. This is going to be all operated on Lufthansa. I would do another video where you're seeing it marketed, and most of that you will see that breakdown on like a third party site, or sometimes you will see it on the main airline site, in the sense that it's saying it's operated by Swiss International Airlines. I'll do a video to break all that down. Basically, it means it's going to be marketed by one airline, but you're actually flying on another airline. They're co-oping. So at any rate, if we're looking at the first one, you leave in Chicago at 4 o'clock. You're going to be going to Frankfurt. You'll leave out of Frankfurt and get to Rome. Here, you're going to decide, okay, I think I want to do, first, not that bad. Or if you want to change it, of course, you'll go up further to the top of the page and then change it. But here, we're just going to click that. Then it gives you this option. Okay, please select one of these first class fares. But actually, it's basically saying this is the first basic plus. So if you wanted that, you will go ahead and scroll down, and you will select continue. Before we do that, if we go back up, we select it first. This is all really what they're offering, and you can go through of what exactly that you're going to get, which is the bags. It's different from when we were talking about Delta. Delta kind of give you that link that you can go to and break it down once you select your flights, which one you want. And in here, it's actually breaking it down to the measurements and the weight and all of that, the priority lane, what all you get, and refundable. It tells you all of that. This here, see if that opens up for you. This is unique because with Lufthansa, it does offer you the uplift. Uplift is basically like another type of those providers where you don't pay right now, or you pay a small deposit depending on their credit, and you can pay over time. So if you don't have a credit card or you don't want to use your credit card, this is another way you can do that and be able to book your flights, and it's uplift. So you will see that pretty much when you get further into booking and into the payment section. So if you wanted to that particular time, you will select that. If not, these are other options that you can do, right? Different times. This is at 7:15, get there about 2:10, what have you. So let's say we're going to select that one. This goes over again the breakdown. They got adults, they got price per passenger, and then the total times 2. And then that's the total, about 17,000. All right. It includes taxes and surcharges. So you want to go ahead and click continue. With Lufthansa website, you basically starting from the top, and then you're scrolling down to move forward. On Delta site is more a left to the right type movement. And I know sometimes on the website it can be overwhelming because there's so much information. I am going to upload a breakdown where you're using your phone, because I think that helps too, because the layout is different, and you want to make sure that you're getting what you're looking for, what you want. Here, Lufthansa will ask you if you want to go ahead and reserve your seats now, free of charge. I think that's wonderful. Most people want to select their seats at the time they book to make sure it's there. They don't want no problems by the time they get to the airport. It's stressful. So they're offering you to do that. All right. Okay, so here we have it says flights have been added to your shopping cart, and please review all selected flights. They have the travel insurance. I notice once you get to this stage, they do highlight that if you want to do that. They do give you that disclaimer, right? And you have selected first class, the flight from Frankfurt, Maine to Rome. They're saying it's not available in first class, but only in the lower class. So when they say that, pretty much when you go further, they'll break that down what exactly that is. And that pretty much could be either business or they'll be selling you if they lower the price and they haven't, some type of premium economy or something like that. So here they're saying you can select your seats. Then you have the travel insurance. If you want to get insurance, it'll be about 1,236. You can add that. So pretty much on this section, just to scroll up, is how you really configuring your trip to what you really want. I did notice on Lufthansa that's different from Delta. Is Delta kind of breaks it really down of where you're flying to, your connections and what have you. Here it doesn't really get too much into it. It mentioned it before, but it just sticks to the facts. You're starting from Chicago and then you're heading to Rome. And it's a one way, and we got first basic plus and how many people. You kind of keep it simple like that. I'm gonna do another video where you're looking at the seats to kind of compare what you're looking for. You right? So here we are. If you scroll down, and then just if you wanted to go ahead and add, everything is right there. If you want to add a vehicle, you can do that. Six is this particular provider is mostly uh, very popular on in Europe. So these are the two providers that you would see will come up. All right. They have more offers, but mainly it's going to be Hertz or Six, especially if you're traveling overseas. So if you scroll down, you're going to get to where it has your flights. You have your flight schedule. Okay. And that's basically um, breaking it down of when you're flying. I'm not sure why. I'm looking at this day. I'm not sure why they do it that way. Maybe it's just, because they're international airline, but I would just think it would be better to say July the 5th because that can get confusing when you looking back at it like, oh my goodness, what's going on? At any rate, there it is. And you have it here where it's breaking it down a bit of you have your time and then when you're going to get there. And then they have the uh, in between where you're making your connection, what have you. And you'll be in business. That's what they were saying earlier. That's the highest class of service because of the plane. All right. Okay. So let's do that. And then the passengers, that should be how many people that you selected, which is there, two people, two adults. You have your fare conditions. I mentioned that when I did the Delta breakdown video. And ticket fare conditions is so important. And for the most part, we don't have time in this particular presentation. I'll do another video on it. It really matters more than the price because whatever the fare rules is like the fare book they go to the airlines and what it says there is what it is. And they're not too much making too many exceptions. COVID is a whole different ball game, but that's what they go by, the ticket fare rules. So yeah, you got a great deal. Okay, but what's the ticket fare rules? What can you do? Can you make changes? Are you allowed to change your port from coming from one airport from a different one? Can you go international if your initial flights was domestic? It gets all into the weeds there. And then the baggage information. So here it says the first basic at plus. There it is, fare details. Marvelous. Because most airlines websites don't do all this. So it's good that they're giving you what you're getting. All right. And you can be able to figure it out. Is this something what I want to buy? I mean, getting a good price is great, but with air, you want to make sure that, okay, I'm okay with that. And then, of course, all these other things. And then they go down with the baggage. If you just want to rebook cancellation, which we're booking. So you're not really looking at that. And then it breaks down from Chicago the different bags that are allowed that's going to be free. So they give you all that information. Any mileage credit if you applied. I'm sorry, not applied, but in the sense that what you can get. Again, I would highly recommend to sign up to start earning those points. Then it gets basically back to the total. Okay. And with that, you will go ahead and continue, right? So since they got like two columns here, I'm going all the way up to the top. And again, right here is just going to be touching on your shopping cart, the date that you're going to be flying out starting at 4 o'clock p.m., the time, and this is just additional services. And when you get a chance after you book, I highly recommend to come back to the site and look at that. I'm going to click on it right quick with Lufthansa. The additional services can be several things. It can be where you can upgrade your particular flight or select your flight if you want. You could pick your flight, advanced seat reservation. For kids, they got free of charge for kids. You can simply reserve the seats. For children aged between 2 and 11 years old, you can do that as well. And of course, if you want to upgrade, you can do that. If you want to add more bags later, they make it easier for you. And of course, rental cars. And then travel insurance is where you go. Remember, I mentioned that earlier. You could do that there. So that's great. All right. So take the time to come back and look at the additional services. If you're looking for rail transportation in between, they can help you with that. So very, 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 very good when you get a chance. You can also um, deal with your meal if you want to go ahead and take a look at that. It's just very helpful. So definitely I recommend to go to that page. So let's get back here and close out in a sense that we are about to finish booking this, get into the last section. So we're going to do continue. I just think that's so cute. Look at that. And finish this up. All right. So this right here is basically you filling out your information, your first name, your last name, any option that relates to that. If you request a special meal, you can click that and it goes there. I'm not going to get into that much. And then you'll fill out the information for the second adult. And then you have your contact information. You fill out your phone number, da da da. You fill out your email address here. All right. And then you are keep it going. All right. And once you click continue, you're done. So thank you so much. I hope you enjoyed this particular video that helps you to break it down and book your flights on Lufthansa. If you have any questions, just please reach out to us to info LuxurTravel.com and we will help you. Please don't forget to like this video if you like it and click that notification bell and subscribe. And I thank you so much. Have a good one. Talk to you soon.